Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another episode of Adventurous Chat Log. And today I'm joined with Deli.
Hello.
Unfortunately, Ashika or Chris will not be able to be here with us this week. He's busy out with friends. So this week's topic is statics. Now, me and Deli we've just recently gotten into a new static, and it took us a week?
Yeah, I suppose around about that.
Yeah, about a week. Tofu did a lot of the recruiting for us, which was nice.
Because we're lazy.
Yeah, we're pretty lazy. Well, I did get Saxon, so that's a plus, right?
We already knew him though, so that's cheating.
But he was still pugging, and he got us another healer, which is nice. And pretty much everything else, Tofu did everything else, which quite happy about not doing that. But yeah, we were almost to the point where we were gonna put it in the forums anyway. So, but anyway, it's all about static this week and what we would like. Well, what I'd like for this episode basically to happen is to pretend you are the raid leader or the static leader. And I'm going to be giving you scenarios, and I want you to, I guess, expand on the scenario and explain what you would do to the certain types of scenario that I'm going to be giving you. I did have a couple in my head, I just never really typed it out. So sorry if it's kind of rambly. So I guess we'll start with the first scenario.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. So the first scenario that I thought up with is we all know that basically being on time is a very good courtesy, and it's one of the most important things in making a static is everyone agrees on a time, a day, of course, and how many times to raid a week. And there are times where there's someone that's always late and someone who never says they're gonna be late, and I was just wondering, what would you do to someone who's like that, who's never on time and never tells you when or if they're going to be late?
Well, I suppose if it was that consistent, I would tell them to at least tell us when they were going to be late, and if they still didn't do that, then I would just replace them, to be honest, because if they can't make the time that we all agreed upon, then they're not in the static, I guess.
Yeah, I do agree, and to me, if being late every now and then is fine, and it's just common courtesy to let someone know in the static. Just, everyone's got a phone these days, or,
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's
yeah,
21st century, man.
yeah, it's not hard to just say, hey, look, I'm gonna be about 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late, which can happen. I mean, for me, who's working till basically half an hour before our raid starts, it takes me about 20 minutes to get back home. So if I'm late to get out of work for 10 minutes, it's basically most likely I'll be late for like 5 minutes for the raid to start. And I do try to leave a message. I think last time it was Maya was my go-to person to tell that if I'm going to be late or not.
Well, she was basically the static leader. Just not by name, I guess, but yeah.
So, it's just not common courtesy to, and if people know you're gonna be 5 minutes late, they can probably do like a fade or something, just to pass the time, not just keep waiting for nothing, and who knows when you're gonna be there.
Yeah,
So
well, as long as you let them know, I mean, and you can like work around it and stuff.
yeah, and the other thing I had in mind was maybe change the time to where he won't be late. If everyone
Yeah, if
can.
that's possible, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that easy, but I think if they're always late, especially like 10 minutes or whatever, you can just move the time and probably do less raid time. Like for us, we do like 2 hours, 2 hours for
Yeah,
three
that's well.
days, right? So you can be like an hour 50 maybe or something like that. Just
Yeah.
just to push it, or if ever you can even push it an hour. So but that's not happening with us. There's no way I'm gonna stay up more than
Yeah.
up
I
to
mean, I
1
could probably do
a.m.
it half an
Um,
hour max, but that'd be pushing it too.
yeah, especially if I have to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Man, that I can't do that. But yeah, that was a simple scenario. Now we're gonna go to the nitty gritty stuff.
We're gonna go to the Helvets, are we?
You
No, yeah,
name
I went
dropped
there.
again.
I went there. I went there. I'll never
So
stop going there.
so let's start off with, obviously there's tanks, healers, and DPS. Well, let's start off easy with the tanks. Uh, do you feel like there's even anyone who's gonna have problem tanking in a static right now in Stormblood?
There shouldn't be. I mean, tanking's not really that difficult in general, so.
Yeah, I mean, from tanking from Heavensward, I think the rotation was more complicated than what it is now.
um, I'd say barely, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say they've dumbed it down, really. You only need to
Mm,
use one enmity combo for the rest of the fight. And if you have a ninja, I just remember we had a ninja towards the end. I didn't have, I don't think I even have to do a enmity combo.
yeah, but it was always kind of like that if you had a ninja, so.
Yeah, so having a ninja, next week I'm definitely gonna try not to use enmity combo. Just give me that Shade Walker, man.
Yeah, Shadewalk is really good.
Yeah, so yeah, I think there's really not much to say about tanking these days because it's really easy.
Yeah, you just need to know positioning and a pretty general
Mm,
cooldown rotation, I suppose, or just adjust to how your healers want it as well. Depends.
yeah,
If
and
they,
of,
if they
of
can,
course
if
the
they can squeeze
main
out
thing
more
is the
defense.
cooldown rotation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and really the only one that has a cooldown rotation is at the moment, since we're not experienced with O4S, but I'm sure there'll be one for that one. But
Oh, yeah.
O3S is the one thing that has a cooldown rotation, whereas O1 and O2 really don't.
I mean, I guess there's times where you can optimize the rotation rather, but as long as you've got something, it should be fine. So.
Yeah, I mean the tank busters, all you need is Rampart, really.
Yeah, how far are they in between? They're pretty far in between, aren't they? So you could probably just use Rampart
Yeah,
for
it's
pretty much
pretty
everything.
far in between, and if ever you still got, for Paladin the Sentinel, or I don't know what the Dark Knight is. Keep forgetting their skills.
Shadow Wall.
Yeah, but that's like 30%, right?
Yeah, it's like a mini Sentinel.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not that hard. At the moment, O3S probably will test your tanking skills more than anything, but when Saxon asked me to use Hollow Ground in the first crit, that sort of changed my rotation. So,
Yeah, I know some healers like to have the big cooldowns used up first, so they can keep DPSing at the start there.
mm.
So
Because I think when we were doing with Pugs, I was pretty much precasting awareness and that if you precast awareness in the start, you get awareness again for the next crit hit. So you know it's but now I have to precast the awareness for the second crit hit, so it'll be up for the third one.
Yeah, things just change a little bit with healers, because you've got to adjust to the healer.
Yeah, but well, otherwise it's pretty easy, I think.
Yeah,
And
it's not
so
particularly difficult, so.
yeah, so we moved on to the healer side of things. Now, we're both not healers in terms of raiding. That's why I actually wanted Chris or Saxon to come
Yeah.
to give their input on the healing side. But to me, having very experienced healers, I haven't noticed anything hard what they're doing. It's probably the hardest part is the raid AoE damage, especially if someone has vulnerability, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty much if someone makes a mistake, it gets a bit messy, but otherwise everything's telegraphed, so.
Yeah. So I think will just sort of skip through the healer side of things because we don't have Chris or Saxon for that. But the main thing is your job. Well, my past job anyway as well is DPS.
Yes. Well,
DPS, your favorite job.
yeah, I
So
would say in terms of between like 1 and 3S, there's nothing really difficult about them at all.
yeah, so I guess now the scenario that I want to put to you is what do you do to someone who's not meeting your DPS expectations?
Let's see. Well, it depends how bad they are, I suppose. Is it a mechanics thing, or is it just a DPS thing, or is it both?
Yeah, you can expand so as to what you want to do. Let's just say for this instance, it's a mechanic thing, and we all know that someone who's have problems with mechanics.
Helmet. I suppose you would just do kind of what we tried to do and speak to them about it and see if they're willing to improve, I suppose, or at least take advice from people to learn from their mistakes, I suppose.
That's my thing
And
as well, yeah.
yeah, if they're not willing to listen to advice, then it's probably better to let them go because you're not going to get anywhere with someone who's not in sync with the rest of the group.
What if it's a latency thing?
Well, everybody has latency, so I suppose it depends how bad it is. Is it consistently like really like disconnecting and because if it's consistently like really disconnecting, then I would probably say fix your shit or find someone else.
I do agree with what you just said as well. It's a thing where someone wants, if someone wants to improve, then that's great. If you're not meeting DPS expectation due to mechanics, you learn the mechanics. And for me, when I was DPSing, it was mechanics first. I was a mechanics first person, and then my DPS can improve as I learn the mechanics, so I can push my DPS.
Yeah, you work around the mechanics. You don't work your DPS around the mechanics. Well, it's hard to explain, I guess, but
Yeah, so
mechanics first.
Yeah, mechanics first, DPS second, right?
Yeah.
Because you're no use if you're dead. There's no DPS if you're dead. Yeah, so like, what if it's really just a DPS thing? Like, just bad DPS. They know the mechanics, but the DPS is pretty bad.
Hit that training dummy and I would say read up on your class, I guess, and read your tooltips because nothing's particularly hidden in Final Fantasy, everything's fairly straightforward. There's been a few things in the past that have been a bit. You have to find outside knowledge to get the most out of your class, but for the most part, especially in Stormspod now, everything's very linear and yeah, just easy, I guess.
Mm.
So if you just read your tooltip, you should be okay.
What if it's something like, I guess you keep getting enraged. Like you keep hitting enrage with the group, and this certain person is the cause of that. It's like, yeah, we've got the mechanics down, but we still keep hitting enrage, and they've read their tooltips, they've done their research, but for some unknown reason, they still suck.
Well, if we get to that point, I would say,
Bye-bye.
yeah, I'd be getting close to that point.
Yeah, to me, if they're really to the point where something is like that, and I know some people are like, yeah, I'll learn, I'll learn. You know, great, you're enthusiastic about learning, but nothing's showing. You know, it's not showing in what what your DPS is, and I not the type of person that really wants to get into the finer things of DPS. Like for me, if we're downing content and if their DPS is like average or just okay, but we're downing content, I'm more than happy with that. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I suppose I am.
Yeah.
I
It's
can
like,
get a bit weird
yeah,
about it though, but
yeah. I know there are times where you're like, you know, this guy could be better, even though we're downing content. So I just want to ask that of you, because for me, as long as we're downing content, I don't mind if their DPS sucks. It's more for me, like when I was a DPS, and I still do want to DPS. If, for example, we're downing content with my DPS being just say 3,600 for O3S, which is pretty crap.
yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty crap.
just
I'm
like
just
bots,
pointing
yeah.
out there, if your DPS is about 3.6, that's really just very average, isn't it? That's very average, especially if you're melee.
Depends
That's
on the class, but yeah, as a melee, I'd say that's pretty fucking low. So
yeah, yeah. So that's I know that there's a lot of mechanics that prevents you from DPSing, especially if there's like thorns. That's probably the worst thing that can happen.
yeah, I hate thorns too.
Yeah,
Fuck thorns.
yeah. So that's probably the worst thing that can happen. And you know, 3.6k, I would say it should be the average anyway for downing the content. If mostly everyone is 3.6, you're gonna hit enrage unless someone is above 4
Yeah,
or 5.
unless someone's carrying them. So
Yeah,
I would say
yeah,
the average should be about 3.9k.
yeah.
Because if everybody's doing 3.9k,
We had a
then
monk that did
win.
pretty well, right? You said they were doing about 3.9 or 4k.
Yeah, it was over 4 in the last phase.
Yeah,
That was that pug guy. I can't remember his name.
yeah, pretty good, pretty good. And you know, it's if it's something like, if my average is 3.6k and we're still down in content, I'll be pretty sad about myself.
Yeah, I would probably tell you to improve, but I wouldn't be super.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Suppose
super
asked about
into
it,
it because we're down in content. We're down in content, which is fine, but it's something for you as an individual to get better, right? You'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my DPS. That's pretty crap. I need to improve myself, learn the mechanic a little bit more. Maybe I can push on this thing. If this happens, I can do this.
Yeah,
But
I mean, as long as you're always improving, that's fine.
yeah,
Or at least
and
attempting to improve. So
yeah, it's like if people are attempting to improve themselves, I'm more than happy with that. If they're like pretty consistently like, yeah, this is the norm. This is this is going to be the DPS.
I
don't like
don't
that
mind
attitude.
consistency. I don't mind consistency, but they should be attempting to improve.
Yeah, I don't like that attitude where you're pretty lax.
Yeah, I feel like you should always be improving
The only
regardless.
time you should get lax is if you're actually doing above average DPS all the time, and you're not even trying.
Or if you feel like a gear war where you literally cannot do anything more
Yeah.
without getting like fishing for crits like FF logs people. But
Yeah, it's something really to think about, and hopefully in our static at the moment, we've only rated once so far, and we managed to get through O3S, which is nice.
Yeah.
There's still some mechanic stuff I think that happened, but overall, I was pretty happy that we managed to beat everything up to O3S.
yeah, our 3S could definitely improve because there was some mechanical mistakes there from... I can't tell who it was, honestly, because I wasn't paying too much attention to them rather than myself. I think it might
Yeah,
have been the Bard or the Monk. It was one of those two.
yeah. So, not that they didn't know the mechanics, but there's certainly some things to improve there. Maybe next week they'll get better. It might be just a bad run for them. I can't really
Yeah.
say.
I mean, that does happen sometimes. You just
Yeah.
have bad nights and things.
Yeah, and like I said, latency can be a pretty big problem with Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
You had latency issues on that O3S run.
Yeah, I did. Was it the last? It was the clear run that I
Yeah, it
actually
was
had.
the clear run. I was like, is DPS is dropping?
Yeah, I was like, casts were just cancelling by themselves halfway through the cast, and I was like basically disconnecting. So
We just probably hit Enrage, right? She was
There, she was
casting.
casting it.
She
Yeah.
started casting, so
I was about, I don't know, 700 plus DPS below what I should have been. So
yeah. And we had the thorn on that one too, so that was
yeah, I think it was double thorns, right?
yeah,
it was double
I think
thorns.
well, people who are gonna watch this will probably see it.
I fucking hate double thorns.
But overall, like I said, I'm happy that we down it, and hopefully people in our static are willing to improve. Definitely my DPS was pretty crap on that run. I didn't even hit
2.1k, I
2.2.
think.
Yeah,
It was
2.1.
yeah.
I didn't even hit 2.2, which should be what I was aiming for.
And you're purely main tanking that fight, right?
Yeah, I'm purely main tank. There's no way there was no tank swap or anything at all in O3S. But 2.2 should be somewhere I should be aiming for with my eye level anyway.
Yeah.
Using that Susano sword, man.
Oh, you still got that, don't you?
Well, I got the sword now, so hopefully next week it'll be a little bit better.
Oh yeah, you got 330 now, yeah.
Yeah, finally.
I would have had 340, but oh my god.
Don't go there. So overall, we are pretty much the same. What we think the static where should be heading. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
pretty much. So that's pretty much all the ugly stuff in the static. I do want to talk about the good things of having a static as well. It'll be a short segment because there's really very few things to talk about the good side of the static.
Yeah.
The best one is, you get to clear O1 to O3S without going through bugs.
Yeah, you can do it all in like, I don't know, 30 minutes if you're good. So
Yeah.
instead of 4 days of fucking wiping to it for hours.
Yeah, so and of course, if you had got the majority of the players who have the mindset of wanting to get better all the time, once they know the mechanics, I think that should be I think that should be something that's a good thing for for the static you have.
Yeah, if everyone's getting better, then you're all improving together at the same time as well. So
Do you think we'll make it to Super Savage or Ultimate? I should say Ultimate Savage or whatever.
um, maybe not on release, but should make it there. Yeah.
Did you know that it's going to be 2 weeks post 4.1 before they actually release it?
Oh really? I thought it was actually 4.1. So
No, apparently there's some information that says it'll be 2 weeks post 4.1.
well, that gives us extra time to get through L4S then, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean that's like 2 weeks of 330 gear from Evilis,
Yeah.
if anything. But it's not like all. I'm pretty sure all the tank gears, all the creation is for that's the best in slot for tanks.
I haven't
So
really looked at it, so.
so it's not like I really need the ones there. Maybe for my secondary class, maybe. The other good thing about having statics is you don't have to fight for loot.
Well, sometimes.
There's
The
only
off-gear stuff, though.
yeah. Well,
Job.
at least you'll get your upgrade earlier than mine. It'll be pretty much all the DPS, then tanks, and then healers, isn't it? Usually.
Yeah, generally, because that's just how it goes.
Yeah. So, at least you'll get it 1 out of 3 next week.
Bloody hell, maybe.
There were still a couple of people who didn't have the weapon, right? The I-30.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the person who won the role didn't have the I-30 weapon, but he better have it on next time we go in, or I'll be a little bit annoyed.
I think he said that he just needed the drop from normal. The
Oh, the Delta
04 normal.
thingy.
I think that's and then he said, if I remember correctly, then he said like that's all he needs and he can get the weapon. Because he was asking what to do with his 1000 creation.
Damn well better get that weapon.
If you don't have the weapon, so I don't know, man. But yeah, I guess that's it for this week. It's a very short episode for you guys. Didn't really want it to be as long as last week. It was like 41 minutes.
Yeah.
That was a lot to go through in 4.1 patch. And we'll probably go through it again when the actual patch comes, So
Yeah, and Banger is announced. Banger.
that fucking bang. I want to see a Viera. I hope we see a Viera in the Evilise.
Hope we see all of the races except for those little fairy things that were in Tactics Advanced too. Those things were stupid.
Fairy things.
I can't remember what they're called. They were like little fairy things. They're
I
crap,
think
right?
there was a post of that. Someone was saying the next race, they wanted the next race to be a fairy or something.
Please no. We already have lava fells.
And some
They're
people
kinda like fairies.
said, why do you want a fairy when you actually summon a fairy as a scholar? What
Yeah,
happens
that's
then? The
silly.
fairy summons a fairy.
Or a fairy warrior, that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll talk about more of that when the actual patch comes out. So this episode is going to be really short. Well, shorter than the last one anyway. So guys, that's it for this episode. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. As always, would like to hear from you guys. If you guys have any static problems that you want us to answer, leave a comment down below. I'll let Deli know and I'll let you know what she has to say.
You almost said it.
So, yeah. Also, remember to follow me on Twitter at Munchkins Gaming and on Facebook as well at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins. and Deli logging off. We'll see you guys in the next level.
Bye.